Greetings, everyone. This is Group 7, and we are here today to talk about this Chapter 1's content, which involves Agile, continuous delivery, and the three ways. Now, Agile is a methodology the in which productions and delivery times are shortened uh, compared to the old waterfall model with that took way too long to fix things, and then by the time that a big project goes into delivery but there's one flaw that couldn't be fixed, it's too late and it's destroyed. Agile kind of fixes that issue by using what's called a value stream, which is a process required to convert a business hypothesis into a technology enabled service that delivers value to the customer. Now, this input or idea can be in the form of a business objective, concept, uh, or an hypothesis that would later on be accepted. And once the input is accepted, it is then transferred to the engineers who would take this idea and then transform it into an implemented code in a application being built. Once that application is built, it is immediately delivered to the customers for uh, to play around with and to test it out for themselves. And if there are any feedbacks or comments or any suggestions on making it better, it is then sent delivered back to the engineers, which will then create constant updates and ensuring that those updates do not crash the whole system altogether.
All right. So the next kind of builds on the agile mentality is that the actual process time it takes to deploy a product to the customer. So it starts with, receiving the request from the customer, which leads into the lead time, which then once we finally start working on it, it gets into, the phase, the design and development side of it, where, we start planning out what's going to happen and what we want to do with it and how we overall want to tackle certain problems we might come up with. Then once we start into the development side of things, then we might run into the issues and we have to start testing things. Once we start testing stuff, that's usually more towards the end of the development cycle. Once the product is developed and released back to the customer, then we handle more of the requests that they might have, like maybe they want something tweaked or something's not working right, then we can go back and touch it up and get it back to them. All right, next slide. So then kind of going more over like the continuous delivery, the lead time and process time. So lead time is the process of the whole thing, starting with the ticket being created by the customer, which will then, depending on the size of the company, can be anywhere from a week to a couple months. Once we finally get to the planning phase and starting actually work, that's called the process time, and that's what we deal with. Whereas the customer obviously deals with the whole time from waiting to get it developed to receiving the actual finished product. Yeah. Next slide.
Okay, the three ways. There are three ways of underpinning principles, which all of the observed DevOps behaviors and patterns are derived. The first way, it makes works visible to the developers, and we have goals to reduce batch sizes and intervals of work so that we're able to maintain efficiency and optimize for our global goal, as mentioned in the Agile section. We have goals to speed up workflow and reduce the lead time, as mentioned in the previous section. And that way we're able to take on more customer requests and increase our quality going through. and it also helps us out-experiment competition. The second way enables a fast workflow of feedback from right operations to left back to the developers so that we're able to increase quality at the source and generates knowledge from operations, consumers, back to developers. It creates a safer work environment so that problems are quickly found and quickly fixed, and we are able to implement effective countermeasures and shorten feedback loops. The third way enables a high trust culture so that teams are able to work more quickly. We're able to work more dynamically. We'll be more disciplined. And it is a very scientific method form of approach to the operations. It enables us to take more risks, and everyone in the organization will learn. When we create safer work systems, everyone is more well equipped to take risks and take experiments. It also designs a workplace that multiplies the effect of new knowledge from operations back to developers that will become global improvements across the entire company. Where one person does work, they do so in an environment of cumulative and collective experience for the entire organization. So, in summary, Agile, it creates an objective and it turns the idea into code, and then developers receive feedback and deliver updates back to the consumer. Think of it like a motto. Continuous delivery. We understand lead time as opposed to process time. Lead time is what customers experience. It's often several months, but developers experience the process time, which can be much shorter. So ways that we can reduce and become more efficient is to reduce lead time between projects. And then the 3 ways, very quickly. The first way, we optimize workload. Second way, we enable helpful feedback. And the third and final way, we create a system of work that turns local discoveries into global improvements. That's it for Group 7. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and good luck.